Guys, Devon with OBS Solutions, and tonight we're going to go over something very simple but can be complex to install, our brake light switch. And we're going to go over what pieces you may or may not have on your truck that might be causing your brake lights to stay on, off, bind up, and all the above. Get down here, Kenny, check this out. You should be having a couple of washers, a bushing, and a safety clip. So follow along. We'll give you the 401 on how to install this guy and what it does. Okay, let's tackle this big project, if you will. Real quick though, things need to go in order, and that's a big deal here. So Kenny, can you zoom in here? We're gonna show people like this. So like I said, you're gonna have one washer. That guy goes on first. Then we're gonna have our bushing. This is kind of important. It's gonna go on the actual push rod for our Hydro Boost, but it's gonna be the same with a vacuum booster. They're the same bushing, it's the same dimension. So if you're running a vacuum booster, don't stress, it's the same animal. Here's where it gets a little bit complicated. Then we're gonna throw our switch on. And it always goes with this cutout towards the pedal assembly, never reversed. Always goes this way. I'm gonna go get this guy a little closer, pop this guy on here, bring this guy in. Now here's where it gets tough, and here's where it's really tough, especially when it's under the dash of a vehicle. Now it popped on real easily. You have to overcome this spring, and that is actually what has our contacts open and close. And so if you watch how I took that off, when you go to line that up, the hole doesn't line up 100%. So you have to kind of push on the spring to get that to kind of release and drive it on there all the way. Last but not least, the second washer, and then our safety clip goes on like so. Very simple, easy to install. And don't stress, if it's clocked down, give it a couple pumps and it reclocks itself. Now the other thing people may not understand is how these switches work. Now, obviously you have power going in and power going out. When the switch is not being contacted or being used, Kenny, what's this?
It's a meter.
That's right, and we went to ohms because we want to see what the resistance value is through this switch so I can explain this to you guys. How this works is when the switch is at a like you're not depressing it, it's an open contact. The contacts are not, I guess if you were to cut it open, Kenny, you'd be able to see the contacts are pulled apart or not touching. How's that? Just for layman's terms.
Normally open.
This is an open circuit. Now, if I push on the brake pedal, can you see what happens there, Kenny?
Ooh, numbers.
There you go. So that shows that it actually is making contact in the switch. And the reason I'm telling you this, get back in here, Kenny. A lot of people will get the bushings wrong, or will get bound up by not having the bushings, or the washers in the wrong sequence, which we've seen before, and then your brake lights hang open, or maybe they'll the opposite, they'll never come on. So you always want to check to make sure that the spring isn't bound up. You can see it right here. See that, Kenny? Mm-hmm. Get in there. And you can see as I don't think you see that, but you'll notice
you can see it.
That spring right there is what makes our contacts open and close. It's actually pretty simple, but it can be a pain, mainly because it's under the dash. Hard to get to, and you're reaching under there, and you're just trying to, your brain's like, dude, just shove it on there and send it. We don't care. This kind of explains it. I hope that helps people out. Anyway, anything else, Kenny?
So we can't have anything missing.
Don't have anything missing. Parts for these guys, where'd you find those at, Kenny?
I found the bushings at National Parts Depot online. I have not been able to find them at a local parts store, which is kind of silly.
That is weird.
Maybe we should have them.
We'll see what we can do, people. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.